Good morning. Welcome to Two-A-Day on the Packer Link-Up. Today is Friday, and it is August 1st. According to Bob McGinn, the Packers have now decided that trading with an NFC North team may not be out of the question. So Brett Favre is pushing the envelope. He is on his way to training camp, or we thought yesterday he was on his way to training camp. That may not be the case. Apparently he chartered a plane, but I did hear a report that he was not necessarily on that plane. He didn't necessarily get up and actually go. So I don't know if something happened at the end of the day yesterday in the Brett Favre situation. The Packers called him, that some trade is in the works or anything like that. It didn't seem like that yesterday, but we will see. Today is Friday, and we'll see if he shows up in camp. So there will be plenty of news today, I suspect. Possibly that the circus has come to town and that Green Bay will be flooded with reporters from all over the place, as it has been all training camp. But anyway, if the Packers are now considering a trade with an NFC North team, that means Detroit Lions, Chicago Bears, Minnesota, I can't even say it, are not out of the question. So we could. And of course, the news has been that Minnesota is the team that Brett is most interested in, and Minnesota, of course, would be a team that would be very interested in Brett as well. A chance to bring up Tavares Jackson underneath Brett rather than rely on him puts the Minnesota Vikings immediately in a position to be chosen to win the NFC North, possibly go very deep in the playoffs with Jared Allen now on their defense. They're strong offensive line, Adrian Peterson, a good linebacking core, Muhsin Muhammad now on their wide receiver core. They've got a good team. I still think the Packers match up fairly well with them, even with Aaron Rodgers, because of their defensive backfield situation and the fact that we have a very solid and very deep group of wide receivers. And the fact that if Brett were to go there, there would still be a bit of a learning curve. But we saw last year that Brett can get on the same page with new receivers pretty quickly. He didn't seem to have any trouble throwing touchdowns to James Jones. Didn't seem to have any trouble throwing touchdowns to Greg Jennings. So we'll have to see what unfolds and just hope and pray that Brett does not end up a Minnesota Viking. Regardless of what else or what other opinions are, I highly doubt there's any opinion out there that would favor a trade with the Vikings. You can't be a Packer fan and want the Packers to trade Brett Favre to the Minnesota Vikings. That just can't happen. Now, that being said, if the Packers are to pull a trade like that, let's just keep our fingers crossed that we get a monster deal. If he goes there for a fourth rounder or a third rounder, I'll cry for days. And that's my rant. If we're going to pitch Brett off on the Vikings, we better get a blockbuster deal. Okay. Not a lot happening in training camp. Yesterday was their day off, so we'll skip that. We'll go on to a link-up spotlight, and just wanted to do a couple house cleaning items. One is, if you're signing up for the Packer Link-Up and you have a Hotmail account, be sure and whitelist our email on your Hotmail account. Otherwise, it'll get bounced to your spam. So just to let you know, that's something we've been working with Hotmail to try to get fixed, and they have not done it so far. So it's pretty easy. Just whitelist us, and we'll be able to come through straight to your inbox. Also, if you've noticed, if you have Internet Explorer, Two-A-Day video blog has been bumped down. It's been lowered on the front page. That's, again, an Internet Explorer issue. And so if you can just bear with us on that, we're working with them to try to get that fixed. Our team is on it, and for right now, we may be moving Two-A-Day from the front page, but we'll get it taken care of. Just to let you know, that's an Internet Explorer issue, something that we're going to have to work with them about before we can get it fixed. So it's Friday. Have a good Friday. We're headed into a weekend. We'll see what happens with Brett Favre, and until next time, go Pack.